Hello everyone, the candles are lit, it's currently snowing, and I have my coffee. Today we're going to be talking about my favorite books. So let's go. We're going to start this video off with my all-time favorite book, Little Women. I read this book as often as I can because I just love it so much, and I used to read it at least twice a year. If you haven't read this before, this is definitely a very good, wholesome book to read. It's written by Louisa May Alcott and follows along the lines of the March sisters as they go through the challenges of the Civil War in general and growing up. I have the Penguin Classics edition of this one, and I definitely recommend it because it looks really nice on your bookshelf. Now we're going to talk about Jo's Boys. This one is also by Louisa May Alcott, and once again this one is based in the 1800s. I feel like anybody, male or female, any age, would like this book. If you are a fan of adventurous books, then you will love this one. Also, I don't know if you guys know this, but Little Women is actually a series. This is the first book, right? Little Women. And then there is Little Men, Jo's Boys, and Good Wives. Not to mention, Louisa May Alcott has written so many books outside of that series. I got this book at the bookstore for less than $5 because it's very old. So if you really like old books, then I would check out your local bookstore because they have a lot of really old ones for very cheap. Also, a little perk of buying old books is that sometimes they're signed. For instance, this one was given to somebody on Christmas in 1949. Not to mention, this one just has the most beautiful pictures. My second favorite book that we're going to be talking about next is Pride and Prejudice. The first time I read this, I thought I would like it more, but I feel like that's just because the language was very fancy. And then the second time I read it, I feel like I understood what was happening a little bit more. So I feel like it's the kind of book that you might have to read a few times to understand what's happening, just because of the 1700s wording. But the good news is that after you read a book like this, you will start talking fancier. The next book we're going to be talking about is Anne of Green Gables. This book was released in 1907 and is a series by Lucy Maud Montgomery. Anne of Green Gables is about a little orphan girl in Canada who gets adopted. This book is also very entertaining, wholesome, and PG. And I feel like any ages could read this. A child could read this, or an adult. Also, this is one of my favorite books in movies. Aside from Anne of Green Gables, she also made a lot of other series and books. This one is called Renewed Masterpieces. It is the most beautiful art book I've ever seen. It's also incredibly heavy and from 1905. I was so shocked when they gave this book to me for only $3 at a bookstore. The only downfall about this book is that it's literally falling apart because it's so old. But it's okay. That's why I put it in a nice little shelf area where it cannot be moved often, because otherwise it literally just crumble everywhere. This book is really cool because it shows you a lot of black and white printed masterpieces of art. And I actually took one of the pictures from the book and put it on my wall because I loved it so much. That specific art piece is depicting a ball in the 1800s in Germany. Another one of my favorite masterpieces from this book is called Teacher's Coming. It was painted in 1887. I just think this one's really funny, how these children are playing the violin, dancing, and playing cards while their teacher's away. And we've reached the end of today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing about my favorite books. See you next time.